This little black on black camera is the Kodak Hawkeye 8. All plastic, very cheap. When it came out in 1963, it cost $19.95. Sounds cheap today, but back then, 20 bucks was a good bit of money. This little camera is based on the Kodak Brownie, very similar, except that it's plastic, inside and out, not much metal to find on it. If you look at the other side, you can read it. If you look carefully, right there, Hawkeye 8. It's a regular 8mm camera as opposed to Super 8, which came out many years later. Let's open the camera and look inside. Just turn this knob. You buy your undeveloped film at a drugstore or a camera store in a bright yellow box. This one is from the 1960s. You insert that reel on the top spindle you see here, and it moves from there to the other spindle. 8mm film was really 16mm wide. It was later split into two long 8mm wide strips for a total of 50 feet. So this is double 8mm, but it's 16mm wide, and it's a 25-foot roll. 25 times 2 is 50 feet. So, the 8mm film begins as film that's 16mm wide. It is exposed 2 times, once on each side. Then it goes to the lab, it's processed, it's split down the middle, and then it's spliced back together again into 50 feet of 8mm film that goes back to the photographer. If you've ever watched old 8mm movies, home movies that is, toward the midpoint, you'll see a splice. Now, if we look at the other side of this camera, I'm leaving it open for a minute. This is how you powered this camera. You wound this crank, and then you pushed this button on the front, like that. And when you push that button, here's what happens inside. This is the lens. You can see that tiny hole, and it's just a hole made into a rotating disc. And if you rotate this disc, I'll turn it one notch from the smallest to the biggest aperture, and now you can see how much more light comes in. So the first one, the small hole, would be for filming in very bright sunlight, maybe on the beach or in snow. And this one would be filming open shade or shadow, and maybe inside a room with windows. Generally, this was an outdoor camera unless you had auxiliary lights. Not a bad camera, fixed focus, just about all that anybody could want or need at that time for $20. And a lot of people made a lot of home movies with cameras just like this one. Regular 8mm, a few dollars for a roll and processing, 3 to 4 minutes of actual filming. Not a bad deal for the times.